My family una kusha una kawa una adu this na say Cast TV with your regular program Salon for Better. As we can always update with things them issues them and where they happen at the salon community and worldwide. Today like this month now Black History Month, so we bring una come people them who can talk about Black history and we go talk about things the way they happen now the Black community, especially with Sierra Leoneans them where they home and abroad. So today we will bring una come Bishop we will bring una Nathaniel Bishop manages we na somebody with the Sierra Leonean committee and we bring una Fatmata Jallow we they all na senior citizen we they among the Sierra Leonean community we at least we can able analyze things the way they happen at the community. Mrs. Fatmata Jallow, welcome to Cast TV.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Mr. Nathaniel Bishop manages. Welcome to Cast TV.
Thank you, and it's a pleasure to be back.
Okay. And like we this now Black History Month, and I know say yes. Sometimes think you say ladies first, but just because Sierra people they short-sighted. Some way as something happen as soon as don't be full or they get small money, then they forget about all things. So I'll begin first with Miss Fatmata Jallow. Miss Fatmata Jallow, this now Black History Month and we dey talk about Africa and you go talk especially about Salon, the things the way they happen as a mama and grandmother. What do you think say they happen like una own term the way una come up and now the pikin the way will come born here and some way don't come the thing the way if you say then they do we no right and we parents then they fail for teaching them picking them both.
Now, good evening. I'm glad for be part of this program today because this is very important and it's also personal to me. As a Sierra Leonean, I come America because I feel say when I come America, me picking, grand picking them all go better. But sometimes when you dream something and what's in it happen is two different things. A lot of we Sierra Leoneans them can America today for come better we safe. But right now it's not about us no more. It's about picking them and we grand picking them where we don't come born now with generation. We don't come migrate now. We don't establish yourself now. So only thing I notice a lot of we African people them decided say we want mix the Salon culture and the America culture. America culture is totally different with Salon culture. Salon where you do bad, you never go reprimand you. America, if you do bad, you pick phone, you say, hey, I see you picking yesterday na molo. The mama or papa go say you invade in privacy. But why be grow up that Salon, we not be get privacy. So I found out for say most of the Salon people them, they not let anybody talk about them picking them because them feel say you invade the privacy. We not invading privacy, we just care. And when you care about person, you get to make sure say you look out for them. And that's what is going on. And I am really, really disappointed for this past few months. The epidemic we don't come na the Salon community where we not agree for our address. So far, we don't lost 3 picking them back to back for drugs. Salomon go say, oh, me picking they do drugs. Because everything it's okay, calm, hey mama, they do out the body. No. Me was sit down here. I can tell you that this today. Drug, he can't me house. I not invite him, but he come. And when he reach them house, I get for address drug the American way. First, I apply the salon style. Work. I end up apply the American style. So because if I not be apply the American style, sometimes before lost me picking for drugs. But I have to accommodate the American style, and welcome the American system. I have to go for therapy. Me picking and all my family. I'm not Americanized. I am still a salon girl. I still there with my salon community. Everybody in this country so far in New Jersey say I was having a child with a drug problem. Because you know why? I share for the other people and know. Let them know say not a one man problem. It's everybody problem. I'm not putting it out there, guys, for say just I go on television, go talk. No. I just want to express to una say when a child is in that kind of condition, the last possible for turn back pana, na mama will born am. I the beg una, dear. I know say it's a very difficult subject. 30 days, I'm working on my child. 30 days, like I talk to una so. I even proposed to her the other day. I say, if we can go up that stage, any side town hall, and reach out to 1 or 2, 3 salon picking them, please, he said, ma, I'm willing to do that. Just to make them know that if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have been here today. So please, guys, I'm begging una. I know say yes and go say not changa yes, but not to changa yes. I did not invite drugs and use, but he can. He can. Drug is one of the visitors the way they invite, even one time, but they can. So guys, I'm pleading to you, salon people them. I know say world need privacy, but this not to privacy again. No, this don't have privacy. Please, Lord, we engage. If it costs me for low now, una di mama them. If una want, we can make a community. We'll go to reach out to each other for love know how to deal with a picky world day per drug business. Not only they show them all. That is school. Where then they go? Me picking at school. In school make them. Then brainwash them. Me, they tell me say, I'm doing good thing. I they try. I make an salon way. Arrogant way, but at the end of the day, I got to put all the arrogance aside. I got to put the salon. Oh, I mean, you mama, what I tell you now, if you do know, the work. These kids in America today, they're different from way back home. Please, I they apologize to now. I they ask you now, nicely, if you have something that is bothering you, let privacy not make you shame for reach out. And ego. We salon people will get but cool ego pa we. We not even something and then you tell us you say, oh, I don't want to talk about it. No, something and then you need to talk about it. Because it's killing you in the inside. So please guys, that this I say we're not Black History Month. And I would like for make sure say anybody, if you get anything, what they monitor you, if you know say, I know say Salomon go say, oh, Famata Obago talk about therapy. Yes, I did. I went to therapy. Therapy helped me out. When I had my brain aneurysm, na therapy na helped me. That no name say Chris. But ku Salomon they say therapy na for Chris, man. No. We can do that, guys. We just get for put we ego aside as a salon people them and try for get yourself together. Please, guys, we work hard for this. And now picking and benefit from we. Because we picking it and the next generation now. We now old also now. Who knows? But come and say why that chemical salon that if you get the money. So that I still like I'll reach out to now.
Okay.
And so
Okay, yeah, my family owner they watch this and say Cast TV and this na Black History Month, and then with Africa we now just listening to Fatoumata Jallow where they talk about the things the way they go on, not to even America, yeah. It happen globally. Any Sierra Leone and they want to Sierra Leone and they way come on Africa come, want to then can privacy, ego. Now in they damage them. And they go now somebody in house. You they go the person and they cover that shawl. They pray 5 daily prayers. You go inside house. Now raw thing they smell inside it. Yes. We they do and salon then say they use them for asthma. But always they kill them picking them now. Not to that one day they kill them. Not to Igbo they kill them. Not to Tampi they kill them. Not to Ewe they kill them. Not to Jamba they kill them. They don't come box up now. Salon picking them. They no go science school. They want to chemist for mix something the way then they drink when they pack them and they shut them down. Not to Jamba. Oh. We all smoke Jamba. We go inside Central Frito way na Fube. We smoke Jamba and then they will big one and they take capsule. You they meet and then turn inside gutter. Because they mix them with waiting up for mix them. But the tea where them boy they take now, not to weed. Then they take waiting pass through. So people are now where you go for and tell say, hey, you begin they do this so some woman they work nights. So when they walk around the clock, and now they don't go now picking they operate. And he never wait for telling picking say now so you wait for tell and say now so you begin they do. They go say invade me picking privacy. Oh na me picking na me. You see, so all things and they because all the one picking the way they do them here where they go damage so never they know they see them. But how for tell them parents them salon people they don't can they now when they na the diaspora then say you go invade they invade them privacy because you tell them about the bad things the way them picking and they do. So now this will get for stop now the community like who be there na salon you they do things so you uncle na the same street or you neighbor na the same street in the case you picking bitter. You dey glad the back say yes, why you beat her? Because he do bad. But yeah, so na lawsuits. They okay go court. So this like where Mrs. Jallow don't talk, let comrade and come together, una form a committee, and then una they see picking, you the body picking, you know how they grow up. America, so it's not possible like grow picking up and lip black. But you go picking also lip black, so let you know say get what they rob day. Get what they take, we make it lip black. Easy for no. But now you go the pamper and say yes, this time picking. If I tell her so, it go vex for me. No, now you born picking. You get for tell her say this way they do it not fine. This way they do it not fine. So the way Mrs. Jallow don't talk so, I they call on all other comrades. Let we join Mrs. Jallow na this fight because like we see we don't get 3 back to back and all the autopsy the way they come now drug related and not to Jamba. Now where they beyond Jamba 9 and they take because they want turn chemist where no go college for big chemist. Then they mixed in there when I pack the ball. But just because this is now Black History Month today, and we also go to talk about Africa, we go over Africa and talk about Salon in generally about the comrade how for come together. So now make also get Mr. Nathaniel Bishop manages where he go give you small here about Black history and then at least low they go because some people are not come na America, they don't turn for lost their culture. So we need for the remind some people them, let them know their culture. Mr. Manages, this is a Black History Month, and like you they mostly in this community, and you see people them we don't call Americanize. Some people and then they still they go halfway, half African way, half American way. Some people then completely don't change, go to America way. So Mr. Manages, for let people they reflect what you get for tell me about Black history, especially when you talk about leaders in Africa, because yeah, you get people that way at least fight for the freedom of Africa, America. We make today we enjoy half enough black, they enjoy half enough, but deep inside we know say we they enjoy proper how for enjoy, but then they hide them because of lawsuits. So what you want to talk about Black history, Mr. Manages?
Well, a very well-suited question that befits this occasion. Oh, they reflect on we history as a people. I also want to buttress within Mrs. Jallow talk about we youths them and the pandemic of drug addiction and overdose very serious, because as we all know from we own civilization, we say them we born pick na parents for bear na picking for bear parents, not to parents for bear picking. So whenever you get a situation when we they go bear we picking there now, it's alarming and we need for focus. So myself they appeal to we youths them, let them understand, say if they need us, Mrs. Jallo say seek help, let them seek help, let them talk to somebody. We will, when they grow up, will get brother. I think in an English form they call a mentor. So me having even talking to my cousin in funeral last week or the week before, say I always like to spend time with me grandpa them, me auntie them, because wisdom from God they come out. And people that we don't live before we then get a lot of wisdom where we can experience is good, but if you can get the experience before you experience them, you will be better prepared. So I applaud we all as parents who they try for beat the drum, let people know, say if they need help, let them come to. In the celebration of Black history, in a broader term, Black history, even though mostly now in the West now, but they say and they tell for celebrate them, it only mean blacks who have migrated to the West voluntarily, or those who were through slavery come across the Middle Passage. But black means we as black people all over the world, wherever you find yourself. I can always quote Peter Tosh, he say no matter where you come from, as long as you're a black man, you're an African. And so when we say black, it means Africans, because that's the origin of black people. The struggle here, as about 6 decades ago, in the 60s, was intricately tied to the struggle for independence in Africa. Some of the freedom fighters, them now, we sacrificed their life, like Dr. King, Malcolm Little, later on known as Malcolm X. All them people, and A. Frederick Randolph, their mission was to bring the blacks that are here involuntarily back to the motherland, so that the human resource that was taken from Africa for over 500 years, 400 years, that human resource way now the deficiency between the developed world and the underdeveloped world. They been feel safe we can repatriate that back. Then in as much as God been done design with geography, with all the mineral resources as much as human resource. Because if you understand waiting caused slavery, now the fact that at that time before the industrial age, there was need for manpower, because that's how there was no mechanized farming. Farming has to be done due to manual labor. And if you go back to me on elementary, used to teach me about people on the move. You go back to Ice Age, Stone Age, you realize fishing and farming has always been the subsistence way mankind has always preserved their life on earth. Hunting, whether you are hunting, you're fishing, you're tilling the land. That's so. Imagine back 1,000 years, black people were the most valuable resource. Valuable in the sense that even the white man would put a ship across the oceans to go bring this resource. We talk about Black Friday, they were auctioning us as, of course, commodities. If you talk about Wall Street today, they're trading on different commodities, but they used to trade on us. Make no mistake about it. So we need to also understand the value of black people. And when we talk about black history, we also get to find out whose history we celebrate. The history that was told to us, or the history where we able for, because you history now your identity. Your history tell you who say you come out, what your ancestors were like, what they used to do, what was their tradition, their way of worshiping the spirit, because we're all spiritual beings. This spirit where they talk so right now, when Bishop Nathaniel manages, or Nathaniel Bishop manages, the day we left this mortal body, you going to call the name, the spirit no go answer because it no longer exists. No longer exists. So we're spiritual beings. So knowing our history tells us our spiritual ancestry, you know. And again, when you talk about history, it depends on who that they tell the history. I mean, I don't want to be political, but if your oppressors, they tell you history, then if you go back to your elementary school, history was oral tradition before written history. So the word of mouth telling a story. So therefore, we understand about the inaccuracy of history as it's been told, because either intentional or unintentional, meaning that if somebody explain me history and decide for put some things them in there intentionally, or left some things out intentionally or unintentionally. So we need for know history, because as we can say commonly, you take the past and the present for chart the future. You see, if you ever be on board a ship or even an airplane, there are coordinates, and the coordinates now they take you to the destination. A pilot get for file a flight plan, meaning that in case the plane disappear, let them go able to retrace and trace them from whose side been come out, whose side they go, and whose side it possible, and when was the last time he pinged to a control tower, so you can able to identify if it for them out of the sky, whose side on for them, so you can see if you can rescue people. So history is important as Black people. History is important. It's very relevant that we know history, but not only know history, but know the accurate history of Black people, so that we can able to chart the future. Take that past day and what we're going through now for chart with future. If Elon Musk was born in South Africa, and he able to be one of the wealthiest man in the world with only innovation, then within different. If Aliko Dangote was born in Africa and he's one of the wealthiest people also in the world, then Africa is not the place that most of we history depict. In other words, Africa can do a lot, because we see them in humans that were from Africa and that are from Africa. And if we talk about Black inventors, you'll be surprised, you'll be amazed about how many things that we use in our daily life where Black people invent. But the key here is the motherland. Because talking about Black history, as I relate them, you can't separate Africa from Black history. And so what me appeal to we Black people is that whatever we do, we have to always think about what we should do with the motherland, Africa. It's the only place back then when you and I grew up, we know China. Nobody wants to go to China. Now everybody wants to go to China. We look the kind of that we didn't get in China. Now some of the things that we didn't get in China, even the United States, what we did not get them. So it's not impossible. You look at Dubai, you look at other places that we don't develop within the past 40 years. And you will see Africa, because when we talk about political problems that we get, we talk about corruption in Africa, all tied into history. Because we can't say we talk about history. History is about your past. And if you get for use that past and apply them to how much progress you don't make in the present, then now get a vision for the future. So, Black history is important, and I applaud on that, and that's when I can always champion the issues where we need for the bring to the forefront, so that bring them to the forefront, let we think about them, let we ponder as to we as a species, Black people, what we for do, and what's the way forward, and what we can do we as Black people in the diaspora. It's very important that Black people in the diaspora understand the leverage we then get when we criticize we corruption. Now we individual African states that we will come from, when they criticize the political leadership at the individual states that we will come from. me feel say in the diaspora, if we, because talking about the problem without the solution is also the problem. We, for the talk about the solution, we can use, we leverage now for educate the masses. Not only when we get a candidate, because I understand the election we elect Mada Bio, if I can be specific with Sierra Leone, that election day we get a candidate we then call on the diaspora candidate. Well, we're not for allow even that for happen. We're not for only be proactive when we see somebody who we feel say we self can able now not only try for be political. We're all political subjects, whether you're living in America or you're living in Sierra Leone. But one of the first things then we, when you become an American citizen, your passport can carry with your voters registration. Meaning that voting is very irrelevant. So if we have to elect our leaders in Africa, then we should educate the people who vote to elect those leaders. And I think to say, we not the diaspora and we mission that, because we get the resources for organize a voter mass education, for educate voters, and let people know they vote against their own interest. Let them vote for visionary leaders that we will lead Africa, and not only Sierra Leone. So we can only talk about, because we're going to talk about Sierra Leone, or when we go back home, December now with a visit with various place of origin where we come from now, Africa. But now a continental problem we get, and this is a continental celebration. We church would celebrate African Sunday. Now we church, United Methodist Church and New Brunswick. And sometimes I was one of the people that were say, well, you know, everybody in the church come from somewhere. Why do we celebrate? But then as they go to the church every year, I begin they understand why it's necessary for we to get the African Sunday. You see, because you know we need to recognize that African people are part of the world population, and we need to make we mark, and we history hide some of the gains that we've been doing. So now I ask the question, who is telling the history? How accurate is the history? All those things we need for. I get few people that want to read the literature about African history. Dr. Ivan Van Sanama, Guyanese professor, I think, Professor, is a former Senegalese scientist, Cheikh Anta Diop, Theophilo Benga. We need for they also tell we picking them for educate themselves more about the motherland, especially the one who don't come on. They are interested. They are definitely interested. You're not going to know how much interest they get until you get a conversation. And some of them, they do their own research too. So sometimes we can feel say they don't understand. You know, they know. And the more we encourage them, but we as African people need for when we talk about African History Month, that is a reflection point for we every year for where we organize. I think if we fail to plan, we plan to fail. I'll end that.
Okay. Yeah, people who now they watch with this na Cast TV with your regular program, Salon for Better. And this na Black History Month. As we get Mr. Nathaniel Bishop manages. Bishop, like what you don't talk, I they reflect on something where you see there are certain things the way people they fight for. Like Dr. Martin Luther King. He died, but still he left in legacy. Then things then they go on right now. Way during in terms, sometimes then the way boss the black man they go inside it, but then fight for it happen. And when they look at you, they talk right now with they see the spirit of Pan-Africanism in you. And when they talk about Africa, you understand? I see sometimes Africa they celebrate Africa Liberation Day. You think say we then neo-colonialists here we colonize we you talk about even election at Sierra Leone, where the former British ambassador will be there in Salon, Gary Washington. You they clearly know say the Queen of England. Now they set up Africa, send nomination to people that for kill themselves because they don't want Africa for be independent. Where you see Gary Washington, when they're not able to set up Salon again for give them gun for kill we-self, waiting and come with, even though when the election, Dr. Samora win Madabio, waiting and see they say regime change. Then take Joseph Mahama for come monitor election, somebody way he rule Ghana 1 term, wait for be 2 term, then kick out because he not competent for rule the country. Then can make observer na Sierra Leone. Him and Gary Washington then take election, give Mother Bill say regime change. So that mean if the world not be done, they civilize. If they want Mother Bill for rule, the next year then for be now Red Cross plane and because now they take supply with people then gone for kill with still and they can give medical supply. But now lie okro ill. Now Red Cross helicopter and they can drop arms and ammunition for them West Side boys. So we know say like the Queen na England in then they corrupt Africa. So then neo-colonialists here. You feel say Salo don't colonize, not to like way they say all the cow in all Europe, not to instill and they run way. You feel say Africa don't liberate because when you think about the major people always stand for let Africa come together. No, don't crush the all. Usai Kwame Nkrumah, not to crush Sekou Touré, this guy in Libya, Gaddafi, they all then kill them. So you feel say Africa don't liberated or then guy they still do the cow then they all Europe.
So liberation, where you talk about, and to answer your question, as I always say, we talk more about the problems but not proposing the solutions. Earlier I mentioned about we involvement in the diaspora and about educating the voters. So if we take what you talk about, the West dictating to us about regime change and Uda then prefer over Uda win. You know, when you have a close election, back to what I talk about, then you give those outside players the opportunity for manipulate. But if you have a voter education where we give you a landslide victory, even those who wants to interfere will realize that it will cause an uprising. You see, when the people speak and mean what they say, nobody can deprive them of their voice. So the problem here is that the voice of the people is dampened so much that there was confusion over the election as to which one of the political party they win, right? So it comes back to the people where they vote. And when we can't fight the Queen of England. I mean, come on. But we can use the voters, 7 million people, 6 million people of Sierra Leone. If now we talk specifically about Sierra Leone, we can use them voters, then if we educate the voters them and point out beyond party politics, just let the people of Sierra Leone know who and the candidate they will present themselves for president are the better candidates where we stand a chance with. And it not only got to stop at educating the voters, but remember now, if you persuade somebody for vote for somebody, you for also be willing to hold that person there where you direct voters for vote for to the task of delivering on them promises. So that's where we at the diaspora come in, as I say. First, we educate the voters. So let the people who can interfere. If they bring a candidate, first of all, if Samuel Kamara bin get a landslide victory, there's no way the West can tell us that he can be the president of Sierra Leone. Right or wrong?
You're right.
So we get a role for play because the solution is what we should focus. Then one that we focus on the problems. Because those problems will always, in fact, when they focus on the problem, when they talk, then they know, say we know what they do. So then they strategize how for the next time for manipulate. But if you go directly, take the middleman out. If now one man, one vote, we're not denier when it comes to the presidential election. But in Sierra Leone, now one man, one vote. So if now one man, one vote, then now we leverage that. See, because me, I'm solution oriented. I'm an electronics engineer. One of the way I come into electronics, now as a technician, I have to troubleshoot. The word troubleshoot, maybe if you put on my West, I go flag and we join until you get to separate the two words. But the point I'm trying to make is that my profession trained me for pinpoint a problem and then offer a solution to solve the problem. Now, my own mode of operation that in life. I not only look for the problem, but I have to find the solution to the problem. So most times when I get a conversation with people, if the conversation is just one-sided about the problem, because Sierra Leone, that the country where I will tell you, see, most conversation dwell on the problem rather than the solution. Let's focus more. If Black History Month mean anything, let we use the past and the present for chart the future. You see, because that is the only way forward. So I come earlier, I quote Steve Biko. Steve Biko say, and to be precise, when you quote somebody, you get for me correct. I'm making note of it. He say, it is better to die for an idea that will live than to live for an idea that will die. So if you die for an idea, we will live when I'm Dr. King do. I'm all this. When Rollins fixed Ghana before this Ghanaian economic boom, now the legacy of Nkrumah now I build on. All the leaders them before Rollins take power in Ghana, not be one follow the roadmap where Kwame Nkrumah. Kwame Nkrumah, the short time where they allow him for rule, them build the Ghana Star Line sea fleets them. The sea liner, the ocean liner, Ghana Airways. Same as Ethiopian Rasta Makonnen. Now he start the Ethiopian airline, 30 day, but also. So how do you know the airline? You see? So when the Akusomo Dam, the hydroelectric project, that Kwame started. So what are we talking about? Visionary leaders. Leaders them way when then na power, elect na briefly one time, waiting the left, then tie the successor in hand for continue. Because why? The roadmap don't they for father. And it only takes another leader. We see the vision of the previous leader. We can have power for continue. I visited Ghana in 2002. First time in Ghana. I was impressed. I get friends that will tell you, say, I always talk about my impression starting from the airport, the people I encounter. I don't believe it's be Africa. Take to the hotel also I lunch. So what am I saying? Africa is so capable, but yet still we dwell on the problem. We need for chat we way forward with more of solution than the problem. See where Anti-Fat talk about the drug epidemic now, we use them. Talk about solutions. Talk about counseling. Talk about mentoring. We have to dwell on the solutions. Africa economic problem, Africa corruption problem. We all know the problems. What is the solution? What is the way forward? Now in Black History Month, for the remind week of every year we'll celebrate. And when Dr. King then sacrificed for voting rights, right now the U.S. Congress get bill with them passed with the Senate sit on pan for voting rights. Then you get for actually say for scratch and say, well, I mean Dr. King them don't fight for voting rights. They're trying to take that gains way Dr. King them not make. They're trying to take it back. So, I can tell people forget a job now one thing, but not for keep up. And not the other thing. So everything you achieve, if you don't stand up and hold on to them dearly, even your marriage, it will fall apart. You go for the finesse, It's a work in progress. So that's what African history to me mean. If we remind we of we past and we use that for chat we way forward based on how much progress we don't make right now.
Okay. Yes. The people una we just join we this is Cast TV. Una just the listen where Mr. Nathaniel Bishop manages to talk about Africa and most the things the way they happen with people in a problem they know what they talk about, but we know they look out for solution. So this is not the time around where they look for solution and settle out things the way they happen. And also I will come to Mrs. Fatmata Jallow. We get Sierra Leoneans they right now we they in the diaspora, if you wait in a salon. Because right now the bomber team where they go on a salon now, all man them but they all their youth they take kush. And we know say the head of the administration they get member then they win and then they import kush in the country where so man don't take they look got a ping they team up so for donor ground. and not to under no more happy. Don't be in America, Bakusa or in the diaspora. And then England, they all over globally. Usai Sierra Leone and they one thing way Mrs. Jallo be talk about when people then get them picking and they do bad. Then get I don't know now also some way come on upline. I also then can begin land one where they sweep under the carpet. Where them picking do dirty thing, they say and they sweep under carpet. Now so they sweep under carpet, say look now. Back to back like when Mrs. Jallo they talk now 3 don't die so where they want to chemist no go na any university for mix all kind jati then take and then drink away at least they make their heart so pump so fast that then they die. So Mrs. Jallo don't sacrifice in an example and picking in no either where some people and picking and they go into drugs then they say they sweep on that and he talk her but he use Africa way no work they can't America way make him picking go therapy and he don't stop and he tell God thank you. So me be one Mrs. Jallo let you continue for explain to Cobra they let they understand not to say you can't pull them picking in a secret na do so you feel say like when you talk so you go able to team up some Cobra and at least now get a network way if not like symposium go they get for the youth like annually then they can talk at least some possible way some but could they go jail just because of them bad here what they do because for me I know Boku Saloma now they sleep in a train station at the waka the other 10 and New Brunswick I see Saloma where they waka before like way one Kresuma be there na Salo be there service car and they call Yebu traffic where they waka with traffic they block. I see Salomon way they into drugs where they waka so they block traffic motor car and they wait for them. So waiting you fi say you get for talk to Cobra them and if they want let una network together at least you can able give them your number because some then they go through them thing there but then they shame for talk and you don't get for shame call people them where at least then don't make them picking don't survive through them thing and they talk to them then go able to show you the way. So what you get for telling people the way then no say them picking them into them thing and they but then they hide.
Yes, just like Mr. Manager's talk just now. You cannot fix a problem without a solution. The solution, when you have a problem, you have to have a solution for fix a problem. And this drug epidemic right now is a big problem for us. Not everybody want to talk about it. Some people decide say they don't want to talk about it because they don't know how for attack them. Like Mr. Manager said, when you have a child where they take drugs, first of all, that salon style where we get say, oh, me na the mama, na me for lead. You know they work in America. You have to find the solution. You have to reach out to the school. You go to the school guidance counselor if you pick it still they go school. But if another school again, then are you host. If you want to reach out to me, I went through a lot of I still they try for help me picking. Because now name say because he don't do it again, that means say don't know. No. Drug, it just feel bad like when you go to doctor and tell you say you get cancer today. If you not maintain them, you don't continue the treatment, it not go ever well. Because drug of itself na sickness, but Salon people we don't know that. All we know is that Changais, not to Changais. Drug of itself. Why sit down here? If I tell people and say, I be the go na Connie, na Jazzy, up Jazzy Anna. Every week, me 2 boy picking and me, we go for go support. Because we have to. It's a family problem. Some people will say, oh, well, they left me, we don't talk to her, I know Yeri. No, you should not give up. Like Bishop said, the solution is to be there, hanging in there. You can't give up. I know a lot of people, they give up. A lot of people say, oh, I don't talk to this person in agree. No. Nobody know the way they born in Pikin say, this Pikin was born and so I want to become a drug addict. Are you crazy? Well, why mean say we go inside plane with America for can better ourselves, right? Yeah. If we now put we foot down and try for maintain this generation, what we bring come, we're not going to see they're not going to see the future. And it's up to us. Alright? It's up to us. Because this time generation, no, we people and don't die as alone. But we now we say we want America. So we need to focus on this generation. We need to try very hard, especially the mothers them. When I reach out to each other, we have to stop this ego. We Salon woman there, I know we get ego. Oh, I don't want to talk about it. Oh, me picking, not to your business. Nah. It's our business. Because when the person go take drugs, you overdose, he die. You go call your neighbor, hey, me picking and die last week. Oh. Now, when somebody man die, they say na widow. When picking mama and papa die, they say na orphan. But they never have name for picking where he died. He left him mama and papa. Alright? Did you what is that the demo they call? Because you're not supposed to be like that. We're not supposed to bear our picking them. We're not supposed to. They're supposed to take care of us. So I'm begging you guys, my cell phone number is 732-236-0694. I know say this is a very churchy subject. I know say some mama they right down a corner where they cry. Say don't do all kind of things, but please, there's a better way. Baku way then they will go try. Please guys, let's don't be ego say, oh, I don't want to talk about this, so nah. Now we all problem. It takes a village to raise a child. Please guys, let's do this for the kids. Let's try very hard. We sacrifice with mama and papa them. They can miss so at America my papa die. At America my mama die. So you know what? The only benefit I get now na me picking and me grand picking and so I make the big one. Now no give up. Please, guys.
Okay. My people when I don't listen to Mrs. Fatmata Jallow. When I reach out to her, I don't get a number because me I know some people the way them picking and they into them, but then they even afraid them picking them. Are you the bunny picking you afraid them? You know? You they see them they work out and they take all kind of bad thing, but you afraid them. But if you come to it go tell you I self worker because himself na victim and Pikibi don't fall short on 19 and day. But he fight them out to not get for give up like I they tell una not give up. Let we just walk them through because like picking and dinner when and dinner that youthful age. Now they go able to control the corner them when they go reach certain age now and they look pink they say you know what I'm a grown up now like give up. But this initial stage where they now we get for team up with we self the mommy and other mommy then team up and ask idea let them direct you what you go do for you picking for let it get out of that thing they like what he also say and now they see 90% of the women then in this country we come abroad or everywhere na ego na they damage them. Other than that person they we have for talk to. But let me tell you now one thing, the streets, and no matter you degree we get, I can tell you now say when I get PhD we na 3 letter. Some of women at least na QBE we get qualification by experience. So even powerful person you get PhD na read you go read, you not do practical. We do practical na treat. So you get for network with people them, we get that common knowledge. Not say, oh, I learn past that woman, they know can't tell me. No, that woman get common sense. And common sense, the smart person una we read. Yes. So now this una for do, una reach to this woman we don't get experience. It come in no hide them. You open and some people then they go therapy with them picking them for bad things, then they hide. Then they sweep under the carpet. This is don't open up. And I know say 8 parents out of 10 then get picking the way they misbehave. So if we meet somebody who don't go through this, we'll get experience on our network. Let it happen. Look how the way man and they do. That big star they all they go into drugs. Tomorrow when they see them. But you see them say, they don't go rehab, look at them, don't get money back, you don't kick up back. Salon, Amos speaking, they go into them bad life the way they kick up back. No. If you see you gonna die, they die. Then they come up again because the community no one come together and network and rehab them back. Then go either and say die. Like way they say. So you know, I don't need for do again. So now this Mrs. Jallow don't tell you now, it don't gain number. If you get picky where they go through this, you not feel too big. Not get so much egoism that say, would another one they will have for go talk to? No. It not the be talk to Uda if he say go help you. Not put too much ego. And this now Black History Month and they talk about Black History and Africa. So bishop managers at least say you don't give them, you don't church them about Black history. And I be one before you round up no more let you church them about senior people in Africa. We don't be leaders the way at least that for so say Black is powerful because at one time they were even way the white man and they can't buy slave them. They so admire Black people them. Where now the Black people them as some see white people them so then they feel so inferior that even when they get talent past some them, you go ask some white man so one day no sit on a plane. But you don't come on Africa, you don't come on a plane, you can't America. You the first man who no one day sit on a plane again. You see, so I mean, you get for some 10 day, you get for inspire the Black man, they let them feel say not to because that man color white you for freedom, no. You get something where you know way no way they admire you, but you don't know. So waiting at the last one you get for courage with people in globally about Black history and that let them continue for persevere because I mean when you look at Kenya and they admire them, so you see Black woman the way they fly plane. So anything where they were able to do, Black able to do them. But people like just they scared say no more. You know they underestimate yourself. When you underestimate yourself, God may not they push you. Now if office say are competent for do this and you can do them. So waiting at the confidence where you want give. Like look like you so. You know one only electronic technician. When he can pass surveillance camera, Mega mind by it all wait I get say which man a pull name per you day because we saw now too hold on. Now one thing they happen. That confidence that will give Black man and say any way which man do then capable for do a bishop. This is Black History Month. Waiting at the confidence we want to give some Black people they looking self no more become so low self-esteem. Where sometimes party they go light pan and no more say I mean at least and some people are waiting at the problem where they unbox some people them. Now bishop managers don't become successful. Now electronic technician. Where if you want to go tip self inside kitchen, you want catch you, they get you where they put where they catch you. But look at it's done. But some people are now no one know that road where you pass for like reach you side this way. No say na construction. The road they get for rough arm, bump arm before they smooth arm. Always you want be successful like you. I want to encourage Salon. I mean Black people again say I mean not see somebody successful no more say you want be like this. Try for ask them waiting at the road, the rough edges the way pass for like reach you side and the confidence say anything way anybody do then capable for do as a Black man.
Well, you know, everything we Mrs. Jallow say, we as Black people and in this Black History Month, we need for reflect on the fact that self-doubt has always been a defeating factor in our individual life as well as collectively as a people. Self-doubt, the same destructive effect we get on individual, we get as a group or as a society. Because, you know, if you don't get confidence, I can always say anytime where you see people and they get a lawsuit over a patent, saying, I'm your idea, you steal. Now, because when you get the idea, the original person with the idea developing, it doubt the idea, so he get for go try for get an endorsement from somebody else, then the person steal the idea. See, most times self-doubt is very destructive. One of the things we need for overcome as Black people, as you so rightfully state, is we need for overcome this belief where we not get in we self. So I can give you an example. Back in the 90s, Canada, this country. I work briefly, and then I then go into subcontracting, try satellites because my electronics career starts way back before I arrived in America. So I already don't know. As a matter of fact, I was in Banjul, the Gambia in 1986, and I go bridge a meter. We Africa and we all not different. So I be know how to make you bypass the meter so that you dey consume the electricity but not a register. I started that in Sierra Leone when I was in school anyway, secondary school. Then when I come Banjul, I do one or two. Fortunately for this mami where I do, I not go forget that mami name our food. When I go na house, I tell her, say, Mommy, I can make you the save on the electric meter, ma. So I bridge the meter and so be the color. Then I be fixed 2-3 things then I house. Now I tell me, so but this work way they do so. They say, if you just come to America, I can visit in Peking there. He say this work way they do so. He say they pay in America. So when now me tell me that, I begin to think. I say, well, if they pay in America, they are the Africa, they do. Why I forgot America now I go change? So she already gave me what I needed to know. Information or knowledge is power. So when that mami they give me that knowledge day, I internalize, and I don't know how I've been forget for reach America because I was in Banjul, the Gambia, so I wasn't in America. But it tell me say you get a talent or a knowledge way can reward you somewhere else. And also having to use the knowledge, I'm not going to get the reward, but I was benefiting from it. That's how having to make me living. Then I realized, say, oh, so you mean this knowledge can give me something better if I go America, so I don't keep on the back of it. When I come America, after a brief, employment period, I decide to do something on my own. Because as I say, you fear, now you for overcome force. You doubt, now you always get for put to rest, for let you succeed. Whether na academic studies you want to pursue, anything in life, you get for defeat that inner voice. When I'm prevalent na Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone, even when they bring bright idea to person, me mad, they tell you that they not go work. So you first of all get for be careful whether you go ask for endorse your idea, because they will get what they call destiny killer. We will kill you, destiny. And you know I'm going near a destiny killer where you want a destiny maker. We will help you achieve what in God put you in this world to achieve. So one of the things that we get for know as a people, black people, for understand we are capable like every other race we got put on planet Earth. We are capable. I once talked to an American lawyer. I go there for just troubleshoot an alarm system. He tell me when I say, will it talk about some battery condition because there's some wireless devices there, we can just change the battery and then we get the system. They tell us say the battery is still low, and so we did just discuss why that scientifically. So when we come to the conclusion, pinpoint what the issue was. So I kind of extend a thanks to. I said, well, Stu Brown was his name. I said, Stu, thank you. You don't help me make sense of this. And I said, nothing in it. And he said, we're both great minds. He was a lawyer, I was a technician. But he tell me, say, we're both great minds. Then they last with me because you see, from my own standpoint, I was looking at him that he read more past me as a lawyer. But the fact that they tell me, say, myself na a great mind, make I realize, say, in my capacity as an electronics technician, I know a lot that INSEP don't learn from me. So we learn from each other. I don't go to a lawyer office when a customer, I try to explain what I got to do. He stopped me. He said, Nathan, if I know half of what you know, I won't call you here. So just go fix it. You see. So sometimes when you underestimate what you know, which is what happened to us Black Africans when they came to begin selling ourselves into slavery, we always look up to others as if we not value we self as much as we for value. So let we begin value we self more. So for example, you know, we black people and they call themselves, if you look rap, the nigga. Well, that's a derogatory terminology where the white people then when we were enslaved, they call we. And why not good for let we they call we self? When some of our seniors take issue with someone calling them a nigger, then the youths of today they call themselves nigger. Then the white man say, well, look, and then they call themselves nigger. So what you wrong if me call them that name? Mm-hmm. So you see, we have to respect ourselves first. Charity begins at home. We get for begin respect we self, respect we professionals them. And when we talk about the solutions to Africa, let we address the deficiencies. Medical is an emergency, not only a deficiency. Sierra Leone, if you go there, you sick, you get any medical condition, some man and with oxygen, they don't get then die. Because they get a condition will require oxygen. You can't live in a country like that where you need oxygen 24/7 and a country where oxygen can be in order nowhere to get to buy. So, you know, when I say the diaspora itself get a role for play, those who have money, who wants to invest, we all not going to go sell motocar in Sierra Leone. We all not going to go open shop in Sierra Leone. But we get medical professionals, then they do well, then get access to credits, then can build hospital, equip the hospital. That go allow the students them from the universities then where they do medicine, forget a teaching hospital where then they can do internship, then learn. With a build with medical infrastructure, like how they talk about building with road infrastructure and build with academic infrastructure, like how they talk about everything. So when Biden talk about the infrastructure bill, where in a Congress right now that's it they talk about, because the Republicans are arguing about waiting infrastructure, the literal meaning of infrastructure. And Biden said, no, it's inclusive. Mm-hmm. All these things is part of our infrastructure, human infrastructure. So the diaspora, where we did not, because all the go be lost. Some of we, that man we just die, we then they do fund, we in them for. You get us where just build. You don't even live there, you don't die. So what are we building the houses for? Why don't we invest on things them? That's why when we form organizations, then we go for form organizations them with an intention to invest in areas that are emergency, that the country where we love, land that we love, we will come out Sierra Leone, those will come out Nigeria, those will come out Ghana. If we all play with part, the continent called Africa will rise up and one day become a superpower. It's not impossible. But it starts with defeating the self-doubt what we get about we as an African people. When I came earlier, I talk about two people we born in Africa. Today, we talk about the wealthiest people in the world. Their name Dede, Aliko Dangote and Elon Musk. You see, their name Dede. Now Africa, then born. Elon Musk went to school, went to even University of Cape Town. So it's not impossible for we Africans, for let wait people themselves when we serve they can as tourists there. They serve the Tolina we embassies them for visa for go work and we countries. It's not impossible. Okay. If Taiwan is where they are today, China is where they are today, the Arab Emirates today, Dubai and all them places, and then if you go back 50 years and compare, there is a before and after pictures of them places today. So it's not impossible for but when we only dwell on the problems without identifying the solutions. So I think Black History Month will be identifying the solutions that will change Africa. And Africa live up to its creed, as Dr. King said in some of his speech. In one of dying, I went up to the mountain speech. He said, he don't see the promised land. He said, because he has been to the top of the mountain. He said, and he might not get there with the people we even they talk to. But you say, but we as a people will get to the promised land. We're still trying to get to the promised land. In Dream Lives On, remember, you die for what will live on after you. That's why we celebrate Dr. King's Day. And you hear what him picking and say this year, then I not celebrate, then Papa, if they not pass the voting rights bill, John Lewis bill, where they at the House of Representatives, not the Senate.
Yep.
Important for them we not allow, because Bob say, how we stand, why they kill all we prophets them. We stand idly by not doing anything. Well, when you say do something, it's not about picking hams for go kill. But we have to be relentless. We have to keep coming. We have to keep coming. Because at some point, now then we'll give up. We have to. We have to. We just lost an African leader, and I will end with that. At Tanzania. I want to let you go back and look in achievement in Tanzania. Magufuli. I want to let you see what Magufuli do. And, you know, Tanzania is synonymous with good leaders, Julius Nyerere, and then we get Magufuli. But unfortunately, those prophets are gone. And we stand idly by. You see. So there are million appeal to we Africans here in the diaspora and in the motherland, that let we defeat we self-doubt about which we can achieve. The sky naina will limit civilization. And when I go back and refer people for read Ivan Van Salama in books them about Africa and the origin, Egyptology, professor and former scientist of Africa, because Africans they don't know so being scientists. Théophile Obenga, Cheikh Anta Diop. Senegal, are they the best French university there? Now the world safe. You go say no more Sorbonne, then they speak the French in more French way than. But trust me, all Middle Eastern French-speaking countries come to Senegal to get educated. So Africa is a very important, which I call real estate on planet Earth. Out on Earth, the place we get everything, now the most impoverished place in the world. We'll get for the answers of that question. Everything. So if we reflect on Black history, we reflection for be the way forward. The solutions, whether na Sierra Leone, na Liberia, na Ghana, na Gambia. The question we should ask ourselves every Black history, na the way forward. Not backwards, the way forward. I will end with that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Managis. Viewers and listeners, and Mrs. Fatma Jallo, waiting at the last word we want to tell people and go round up this program. And also the whole too much with the old people and too much today. So waiting at the last word we want to give Cobra because me I know say you concern more, but then thing how they happen which we picking them around the globe. So waiting at the last word we want to tell Cobra them for let them join you on our network and see how we find solution.
And they appeal to now. Sometimes this privacy where we can adopt in America, it's not good for us. If you can reach to somebody who will give you help. When I have my problem in my house, I reached to a very prominent Sierra Leone person back then. And I asked her for help and she gave it to me. So I'm appeal to every mother out there. If you can carry that baby 9 months now you belay, you walk out with her. Please do not let, if now you brother or you sister or you man or let them talk you into not doing what is right for that pikin. Remember, 9 months, now you carry that pikin, they go inside belly. You sleep, you wake. So that 9 months day when you carry am, now you do everything for am. So if that pikin can't today decide for do something wey not right, use the same patient wey you get inside you belle, let you help am. Please, that appeal they I get for all the Cobra them, including the papa them support.
May people as we round up this program today, we just talked to Nathaniel Bishop Manages, and we talked to Fatmata Jallow, we a senior citizen in the Saloon community in New Jersey. Then come na studio today because we try to observe the Black History Month, and we talk about things the way they happen na Africa, and with picking the way they na the diaspora and globally, and the Ide and the UK the way they happy way some comrade they try for be so egoistic that he say and picking in business for be privacy, even relationship na privacy na also kairi. So man go say na me privacy, I need be privacy, then think they well. So we get people that we don't come up, we don't ready for, at least if you get challenges them, we the shame for talk to people and the way them picking on go through them thing and the way then get where they work out for them and solve the problem. When Mrs. Fatmata Jallow, una go call them and then una go talk, he goes direct to how himself do, or una go network how for put picking in together for at least let them come up and this scene, at least them bad here then they do so when they take their life. Let we help them at least like we say 9 months you carry an ibele, it's not easy. And for let raise them up, for let reach that stage they and can lose in life by something way they take or overdosing self. So now we will round up this program today, and as we are telling earlier, Nathaniel Bishop Manages and Fatmata Jallow are the champion this program today. And we sound technician and we producer na Amjad Jalomiba and Mina Abdullah Mansari. Una tata, we go to bring them people there for una time and time at least for lay and go to talk on community issue. Una tata.